today we're gonna spend some time and go back in history again to live the life of a unique woman and a builder of a nation. This one is a Sayyidah Zainab bint Jahsh. The uniqueness of her in many ways. Number one, she was a relative of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Her mother was actually the aunt of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. All her families were Sahabis and high-rank Sahabis, including her sisters. The uniqueness about her is 5 things. Number one, not beautiful, but extremely beautiful, well known in her beauty. Number 2, very pious. And 3, very generous. 4, she worked. She had a business. But the business was, or the income from the business was given for donations. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested her in her personal life, as many of us get tested. But in which way? So she was very beautiful, and she come from a noble family, and many people proposed to her. But Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam wanted her to marry Zayd ibn Al-Harith, his adopted son, which was the norm in that time before Islam changed that rule, where adoption is now changed to the child or the son keep their identity, but you raise them up. But at that point, he used to be called Zayd ibn Muhammad. She didn't want that. And her family didn't want that. They just didn't feel this is right for her. And Allah revealed the verse in Surah Al-Ahzaab. By the way, the chapter 33 has more than 10 to 12 verses talking all about the incidents around Sayyidah Zainab. Her name is not mentioned though. A reference to her was mentioned. So Allah revealed, وَمَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَمْرًا أَن يَكُونَ لَهُمُ الْخِيَرَةُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِمْ. And this is for all of us. Whenever, and Allah said, no believing man or a woman have a choice when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decree a matter. She heard that. She said yes. She was not very keen about it. But Allah said, Ar-Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam ordered, سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا. She married him. The marriage didn't last long, less than a year. And they didn't feel they are happy. And you read this, it's amazing when you read this story, as if we are living these days. So he divorced her. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewarded her for obeying him and obeying Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam by deciding Allah to marry her to Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. And the marriage actually was taken, meaning the actual ceremony, not the ceremony, the actual marriage itself was actually with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah said it in the chapter Al-Ahzaab, زَوَّجْنَاكَهَا. We married her to you. And some scholars says actually the Qur'an was the witness for that marriage. What an honor. So she married the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. And from the wives of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, there were 2 closer to him. One of them is she, Sayyidah Zainab. And of course the other one is Sayyidah Aisha. Now, look at her justice and speak the truth. Now Allah, another test. The test was to Sayyidah Aisha in the incidents of Al-Ifk, as we discussed. Now Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam came to Sayyidah Zainab, asking her, what do you think of Sayyidah Aisha? This is before the innocence of Sayyidah Aisha was revealed. And this is what she said. She said, I am not going to say anything that my ear did not hear or my eyes did not see. I don't know anything but good about her. Justice. She was a just woman. She was Allah-fearing woman. And as Sayyidah Aisha described her, and that tell you, truth always prevails. And Sayyidah Aisha said about her, the meaning of, I have never seen a woman more conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, does act of worship as much as she does, generous as she is, keen about the relationship with her family, and so just as a Sayyida Zainab. Now remember who's saying this. This is not her sister. This is the other wife of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Tell you who was this woman. What she did actually, very generous and very pious. That's the next two things. She had her own, let's say, workshop or her shop where she actually made kind of a leather and she sell it, and then she donate everything completely to the poor. One of her names was the mother of the needy, Ummul Masakin. Her acts of worship was legendary. She had a special place in her house, which is something we all need to adopt these days. A corner, a room, where we make it our own place of worship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And inshallah, it will witness for us when we die. She had that. And she was used to, or known to, spend long hours standing in Salah and reading Qur'an. When she died, and she was about 54, 53, she already have prepared her own shroud. And out of being so modest, the shroud, after they covered her with the shroud, and this is a story documented, she had asked that there is a screen put so no one even see her body shrouded. And she, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with her, was buried in Medina in Al-Baqiyah. Being beautiful is a ni'mah, is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we still can be a builder of a nation. Not beautiful, can we also be a builder of a nation? Yes. Pious, keen, generous, humble, modest. This is what makes us builders of a nation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us